Hi, and welcome back to UMBconnect. With this link, we're going to show you how to manage your student organization that you have just created. Here you can see the student organization. You just type it into the search bar and you'll see it pop up. This screen will give you just a basic overview of the student organization when it was created, its description, the contact information, the officers in it, documents, and any discussions you may have. You can look here and see a full roster of who are current members. If you are a member of the student organization that is allowed to manage the organization, you will have this tab right here. So you're going to click here to manage the organization after you create it. And it's going to pop up over here. You're going to see that there's 4 members for mine, and you'll have this pull down tab. Here, you can do a variety of things, anywhere from adding people to your roster, looking up and creating events. There is a link in this email as well showing you how to create events and do any kind of extraction of information through that, how to properly plan it, and all those things. You can also submit any news about your organization, any photos that you have from the events that you've done, any documents that you wish to share with anyone within the organization, forms. You can even do your elections through here or manage your finances. The main thing that we're going to be looking at is doing the service hours here. But first, we're going to have to create the community service chair for your student organization and ensure that they have the privilege to approve or deny any of the hours within this. So you go over here to roster, and here you're going to create the positions and who has been elected for it. So here are the current. You can have pending or any prospective depending on what you're doing. So I've created it here, my first and last name, and then the position is community service chair. After you create the positions, you can go over here and manage positions. Here you're going to see all of the different positions and the type of position, whether it's vice president, officer, secretary, professional staff. And the key one we want to look at is the community service chair. So you click right over here. And here it's the position name, which can be any kind of name you'd like, whether it's community service chair or officer. And then you just have to pick what kind it is. So if they're the treasurer, secretary, convalescence chair, it doesn't matter. And then here will be the community service officer position. This is the main thing that we want to utilize. So all the other positions within the organization, other than maybe the president, cannot have access to the service hours. This is to limit any possibility of people deleting hours by accident and just restricting who has access to this in general. So you want to always click limited access, and then you can allow everyone to view any of these things. However, you should be careful, especially like finances, who has full access to these kinds of things. So most likely the treasurer should be the only position that has access to this. You can also leave it as none. If you're not utilizing these specific tools, then there's no need to grant access to anyone. So other than maybe the president, I would not click all access for any of the other members, especially just regular general body members. So the key thing we want is for the community service chair to come over here, and you want to grant them full access to the service hours. And you want to do this for the simple reason of you come over here, you're going to scroll down to service hours, and here is going to be how the student org manages their service hours. So any pending hours will be posted here. Any approved hours and denied hours are going to be here, and it's going to be how students track their hours from now on. Now, be careful, because here you can see the time frame in which this is judging it by. You have to go back months or 3 months depending on what you're trying to look for. So I've created a test one where I've submitted hours as a student on this date, and I gave a basic description of what the hours were and how much they were. And this would be under pending before. Then the community service chair would come over here and he would either approve or deny it. Here is the little sheet, and it shows that I have approved it. and the person who approved it will be the community service chair. It'll give the exact time and date of the approval so that we are able to make sure that we have record of any kind of approval, any kind of denial, any kind of deletion that happens here, so that we never have the issue of people not receiving the community service hours that they're supposed to. On top of this, when you approve it as a community service chair, make sure to comment with what event it was, what the position that the student had, and then comment with your initials just as a double safety. This will allow us to always know exactly what's happening within all the student organization community service hours in case there's ever an error. Other than this, if you would also like, in conjunction with the paper sheet that we have been using prior, where all the students write their names and the hours that they've completed for the event during the event, you can also feel free to add the service hours manually yourself. So you just type in the student's name and or email. As long as they're part of UMBconnect, it should pop up right here. You give the description just like before, the date that the event happened, the amount of hours you'd like to give, and then you would write your email right here, okay? And within the description, make sure to put your initials so that we know who is approving or adding these hours as well. After that, all the hours that are approved, pending, or denied for the entire student organization itself will be appeared here, and the individual student hours will appear in their own personal hour page. If you have any questions about this, please let me know.